It's 11 o'clock right here on Splash 105.5 FM when I'll bring you the program Bullseye with Edmond, Obilo. Stay tuned.
People who spend too much time worrying about their station in life will often be told where to get off. It takes more than money to make men rich. Good morning. It's another Monday on Splash 105.5 FM. The program is Bullseye. I am Edmond, Obilo. The phenomenon known today as Actors Guild of Nigeria, AGN, started taking shape in the years 1992 to 1994. Before this time, filmmaking in Nigeria and what is today referred to as Nollywood lacked funds, structure, and direction. It was a profession a very few men and women doing their individual things in different parts of the country engaged in. At best, it was a pastime. Government impact was non-existent. By the year 1992 up to 1994, there was a fresh creative impetus sweeping across the land. More and more people were beginning to take slightly more than a passing interest in the acting profession. Around this time, the movie Living in Bondage was shot and released to wide national acclaim. Its storyline, interpretation, and distribution captured national attention as to the potentials that existed within. This film sparked spasm of enthusiasm that gave rise to the process of formalization and structuring that we have today. In the forefront of this structuring was the Actors Guild of Nigeria. In the beginning, it was known as Nigeria Actors Guild, NAG. Talking about the movie industry. And who do I have with me today in the studio? I have the coordinator, Actors Guild of Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter, Mr. Oyebanji James. Sir, you are welcome.
Good morning.
Actors, it seems all Nigerians are conversant with their home video phenomenon.
Yes, and that is the acronym for actors in Nigeria, as in the guild that supervises the welfare of actors and actresses in Nigeria. So when you say actor, it is in generic sense, both the male and female, being referred to as actors, because ever before the emergence of female coming into acting, way back in time, when you talk about the history of acting, actually, female were not actually given concentration, not until during the Elizabethan period, when female were actually given room to start acting.
So actors encompasses both male and female. So if I call them actress, am I wrong?
Yes, you're still right.
I'm still right.
You're right.
What is the beauty of acting?
Well, the beauty of acting lies in the professionalism of the person we call the actor. It is not just for you to call yourself an actor and you're just being given a role in a film and you feel the immediate thing to do is to just say or do nonsense. No, there is what we call interpretation, analysis of the role given to you. And why people will always fall in love with your expertise as an actor is because the way you handle roles being accorded you by the director.
So do we have good actors in our own scene?
Yep, we do have good actors in Nigeria. In fact, we have a lot of actors, the known ones and the unknown ones.
The unknown ones, why are they still hiding?
Oh, well, they are not hiding, but they are yet to develop that latent talent in them. as in they are yet to actually come up to declare to Nigerians that they too, they have it. Of course, you know, we're in a country whereby we are rich in terms of cultural heritage. As in Nigeria as a country, as a black nation, is rich when it comes to that. I need not mention the known actors we have for you. And talking about acting actually in Nigeria, you know, when you talk about the actors we've had in record history, you'll be referring to people like Orlando Martins, who actually acted alongside the late President of America, Ronald Reagan.
A Nigerian?
A Nigerian.
Where is he today?
Well, he's late too. He's late, though we've not been celebrating people like that. But Orlando Martins had been an international actor.
Was he born here?
He was born in Nigeria, yes.
Did he live here?
He lived in Nigeria before.
How did he get to do a collab with Ronald Reagan?
Well, it's been a long time. We read it in history, and we saw some of the pictures when we went for our own training too at Film Institute.
So what's the big deal about Hollywood? Everybody's talking about Hollywood when somebody have done it before.
Well, talking about Hollywood is only a place in America. The Americans took time in developing Hollywood, and likewise we here in Nigeria, I think we too are getting there gradually. Rome wasn't built in a day, like you know, so it's a gradual process. Of course, Hollywood today is the seat of movie making in the world.
The seat of movie making in the world.
Take it or leave it. That is what it is.
I will take it, I will not leave it. When we are talking about talent, you were talking about latent talent,
right.
Developing talent.
Right.
How do we develop talents in this country, especially when it comes to the movie industry? Are we doing enough?
Wow. Good. To start from the basics. Today we have universities spread around over the country, and we have some of these universities providing room for people to come and study theater arts. An example is University of IBADAN here in Oyo State. We have a department of theater arts there. If you go to some homes today in Nigeria, you actually see about 75% of people in that home wanting to become an actor or an actress without actually going for a formal education in it. They will tell you it is natural, it is inborn, and stuff like that. You know, but people need that formal training. They need that training to be a professional actor or actress. You know, there is difference between those that are trained and those that are not trained.
Well, what is the difference?
The difference is that somebody who is trained in acting knows when to play his card. It's more like when you're being given a script, he knows what to do with the script. Because aside from just reading the inscriptions you have on the script, as in the dialogue of the actor given to you, or of the role given to you, there's what we call hidden fact beneath the lines you are reading. It is not just for you to carry the script and read "Good morning, sir," just because the script says "Good morning, sir." In what mood is that "Good morning, sir" being said? What is the director expecting you to do? So you as a professional actor, you take your time, carry the script, because once the script is being given to an actor, it is always being referred to as the actor's Bible. From day one, once the director gives you the script, as in this is your role, you begin to read the script every time of the day. Because as you read, you develop more on the role given to you. So the advice I would give to any aspiring actor or actress, don't just leave it at the fact that it is inborn in you, it is natural. No, still go for the formal training. Going for the formal training will make you know some qualities of acting or qualities of a good actor. Then the principles of acting. Then you start talking about people like Stanislavski, who propounded so many principles about acting and so many things an actor should use to actually get to a gestalt.
But you want to agree with me that we have talented individuals that don't have degrees that are very good actors?
Yes, some of them they learnt on the job, as in being under a group. Like we have so many theater groups spread around Nigeria. So, and some of these theater groups are being headed by professionals who actually get people into it, to train them. And these people learning it from the professionals is more like, learning the thing from a school, because those professionals belong to a school of thought. And that is why today in Nigeria we have the likes of Iniedo, the likes of RMD. RMD actually is a professional. He learned theater arts in University of Benin. But even at that, RMD majored in choreography and dance. But one thing I always tell people is this, that when you go to school to learn theater art, it is not just all about dancing. When you say theater art, is an encapsulation of so many arts being blended together. In it, we talk about acting, you talk about dance, you talk about choreography, because there's a difference between choreography and dance. You talk about playwriting, you talk about costume, you talk about makeup. So all these things, in fact, we have about 9 chambers in theater arts. So when you go for it, you'll be grounded in all these areas. And by the time you now graduate, you become a force to reckon with in the field of arts.
Where does AGN come in here?
AGN. Well, like I said earlier on, that AGN is only a body that supervises the welfare and regulates the acting profession in Nigeria. Remember, it is referred to as Actors Guild of Nigeria. So, for whosoever is a graduate from theater art who actually wants a professional career, as in to be a professional actor, you just have to join the guild.
Is it a regulator?
Yes, I would say that.
Are you saying every actor in Nigeria must be a member for you to act?
Anybody who wants to be a successful actor, as in who needs a professional career as an acting in the movie industry, must be a member of AGN, Actors Guild of Nigeria.
And if I choose not to?
Well, if you choose not to, there is no crime. There is no crime in that. You will only be checked.
So how does it regulate the industry, especially when it comes to actors?
Well, how it regulates the industry is this. In the area of people coming in as an acting in movies, number one, we do checks and balances. You must be registered, because there are some codes that you need to know as an actor. You can't just get into the industry and say, okay, pay me 1 million, pay me 500,000. No. There are steps and there are procedures towards that. You must attend meetings. And in the industry today, like the industry led to the emergence of some other guilds ever before now. The emergence of DGN emanated from AGN. The emergence of NSC, that's the Nigerian Society of Cinematographers, emanated from AGN way back in time. So it's more like, if you want to be a director, a successful director in the industry, you must also be a member of DGN, Directors Guild of Nigeria. DGN to regulate the affairs and the doings of directors. So AGN regulates in terms of what the actor charges, the conduct of the actors. Now, if the actor fails to appear on someone's location, on the producer's location, maybe you've been paid for a job, and behold, the producer is waiting for you, and you fail to attend. You fail to get to the location on time. Nothing stops the producer from calling the national president or the state chairman on reporting the issue to the state chairman of Actors Guild of Nigeria, who will now call the national president. And the national president will now is either call the actor, such actor, to order. Is either the actor pay back the money to the producer, or make his or herself available on the location. So these are ways at which AGN, regulates the conduct of actors and actresses.
You were talking about other organizations, bodies coming out from AGN.
No.
Now we have actors that are also directors.
Yes.
You have actors that are also producers.
Yes.
So does that give you the right to belong to these different bodies at the same time?
Yes, there's no crime about that. Of course, we have actors producer, we have actors director, we have actors screen, We have actors, screenwriter. There's no crime about that. But the only thing is that for you to be an actor director, you must have been a registered member with AGN, and at the same time a registered member with DGN.
The program is Bullseye on Splash 105.5. I am discussing with the coordinator, Actors Guild of Nigeria, or your state chapter, Oyebanji James. Don't go away, we'll be back. Welcome back. The program is Bullseye on your Super Die, Splash FM 105.5, the integrity station, the station that promotes the right values. We are discussing the Nigeria movie industry today. And with me in the studio, as I told you earlier, is the coordinator, Actors Guild of Nigeria, or your state chapter, Oyebanji James. Sir, the movie industry. Do we have a movie industry? That word movie, a film industry?
That's an interesting question. I would say that yes, we have a movie industry. And the movie industry in Nigeria is dated back to late 70-71 when it all began. You know, to everything in life, there is always what we call ups and downs. The demise of late Hubert Ogunde, the doyen of Nigerian theatre, actually ended an era in the Nigerian movie industry. I would say it ended it because when Ogunde was alive, we were actually in the era of celluloid film production. And celluloid film production is the international film standard. But presently now in Nigeria, what we are shooting is video.
Why?
Not celluloid. Well, you're asking me why? Because it is very expensive to
If
produce.
Ogunde could
Yes.
shoot with celluloid,
Yes.
why can't we shoot today?
Well, of course, somebody actually gave a try to it, Jetta Matter with Amazing Grace.
Yeah?
He did Amazing Grace on celluloid, and it was based on partnering with foreigners, as in some foreign filmmakers who actually made that one possible. I would say it is very expensive to produce a celluloid film. Very, very expensive.
Well, Nigeria has the market.
Well, Nigerian has the market, but the question is, where are the investors? Where are the investors? But would you tell me now that if I walk up to a rich man in Nigeria now, or let's say a philanthropist, sir, I want to produce a film and I need 500 million naira to produce a film, wouldn't that person look at me and say, yes, you must be crazy?
But if you give him a very good proposal, he looks at the pros and the cons, he might invest his money.
No rich man is ready to wait for the proceeds, because when you invest in a film, it's a long-term investment. It comes, in a gradual process. It is not an immediate thing. So many rich men will not be ready to actually wait for the turnover of what a film could give. And that is the problem. That's one of the major problems we have. But with video, it is very easy, because when you talk about celluloid, the process that gets into celluloid film production is actually much. It's more like when you snap a picture. After snapping the picture, you take it to a lab, then you print it out from the lab, then before you now take it to optical studio, and all those process before you now take it around the cinemas we have in the country. Then how many cinemas do we have in the country? We don't have cinemas.
What happened to the cinemas?
Well, some of the cinemas, some churches have bought it over because because they can't carry on with the maintenance. Check out what was about happening to National Arts Theatre before some stakeholders in culture came into it because they sell it. So things like this mar the progress, or should I say the progress about cellular film production in the country. And that's why we are so okay with video production.
Even the video we are producing, the storyline,
That boils down to professionalism.
The storyline.
Yes, when you talk about the storyline, don't talk much about the storyline. When we talk about issues in Nigerian movie, we talk about faces. Nobody's bothered about storyline. Even when you go to some video shops and you want to buy film, most Nigerians, once they look at the jacket and they can't come across most of these known faces, they don't buy. And that is the idiosyncratic nature of some Nigerians when it comes to movies. I keep saying, and I will always say, that faces don't make movie. Stories actually make the faces. And that one boils down into the hands of a good director. If the director is good, now you won't bother yourself about faces. Now, Nigeria fails to understand something about film production. If you're a filmmaker, you're a social reformist. And film is supposed to be a weapon to reform our society, correcting some vices in our society. It's not all about you laugh and you go to sleep. America is what it is today because producers, the directors actually made it what it is because they use film to actually make a very, very viable impact when you talk about their social activity, economy, and every other thing. Okay, when you watch an American film, you would want to visit America because of what you are seeing. If you are not watching the film because of the film, you'll be watching the film because of the locations around it. And before you know it, maybe Edmond would want to jet out to America because of what he had seen.
So why are we not doing that here?
It all boils down on professionalism.
We tell sad stories. Sometimes these stories are so woven in such a way we begin to ask, are this the only creative aspect of the writer of the script? And you see a situation where one movie comes out 10 times with different names. And we're saying that we cannot write new script. Sometimes you look at the fictions that comes out from the American movie industry. See, we have great novels like Things Fall Apart, The Arrow of God. Can't we put these into movies?
Good. It is possible for us to do all this. It all boils down on who is the producer and who is the director. But you are saying all this now. Somebody came up with Things Fall Apart. Somebody came up with that idea. Let's make it into a movie. Or let's turn it into a soap opera. Let it be a weekly television program. And many Nigerians got to know Things Fall Apart. And some that watched that program during that period actually went for the book after watching it. For an example again, part of what I do say with people is this. As in, when you look at some of our literature, our textbooks, we need to transform some of our textbooks into visuals. In order to protect our cultural heritage, because some of these ideas are gradually going into extinction. When you talk about JF or the Alawi, we have so many things we can actually keep. But one, the laziness of the producers. The directors are not creative. All what we want to talk about is love. And this love is not there.
And we're talking about artificial love. That kind of movies promote artificial love. What do you think?
Oh, well,
or what you call saccharine love.
If you say artificial love, we are only trying to copy the Americans. When you talk about the African love, we've not seen Africa. We have a way of actually, showcasing our own kind of love, but not in that kind of way. I will call it chewing gum and sweet and banana love. That's what I call it in my own language.
So who are these producers? Where are the professionals?
Well, the professionals are there.
Where are they hiding? Because I think we must be fair to these producers. They brought this industry and they spent their little money into it.
Okay.
They are the one putting in the money.
Okay. So
they could make their movie in a week and come out with it.
Okay.
When the professionals are not ready to do anything.
Okay, Edmond, what will you say about this kind of situation? You are a producer, right? You contracted a director to direct your movie, and the director is ready to work. Now the director wants to make use of good, materials, as in terms of talent, actors and actresses. And behold, the marketer, because he's the one is the one built to market your movie, now comes up with something and says, oh, if so person is not there, forget it. as in imposing on the director, and which is wrong. It's an unprofessional thing.
But the director can stand his ground.
If the director stands his ground, he will be sacked from doing the job. And many of our directors now, because of what they will eat, they will have to what? Listen to what the marketer says. So the issue about professionalism is that presently now in the industry, the national president of Actors Guild of Nigeria, they are working towards that. In fact, they want to get rid of mediocrity in the industry. Because in a situation whereby you have 75% mediocres and you have few professionals in the industry, tell me how professionalism will thrive. It's impossible. So it's a gradual procedure. We are getting there. Now the Americans are saying one thing. And what they are saying is that for them to come into a film production in Nigeria to assist or to aid the industry, we need to what? Give room for professionalism.
So are we ready for that partnership?
And yes, of course, we are working towards that. There is move towards that. And presently now the stakeholders are actually working towards that too.
There's this latest development that the state is fighting that all distributors must register with the National Film and Video Censors Board.
Yes.
The 50 million naira bond.
Yes, of course. If you've heard about Motion Picture Council of Nigeria, MOPICON, it's a council being brought up by Nigerian government, and they're trying to sanitize the movie industry so that it won't be a thing of everybody's just doing whatever he or she likes. They want to actually give a standard to movie marketing. That is number one. And to regulate the marketing of movies in Nigeria.
Are they thinking of ways of wiping out piracy too?
Well, I always say piracy is more like sickness to a human being. You can only control piracy, but you cannot eradicate piracy. You can only control it. Just like human being will always go to clinic. What's wrong with me? And the doctor will prescribe some medications for you. So piracy had been there ever before now. Piracy has been there. So you cannot really eradicate piracy.
Is it not an irony that those trying to fight against the mediocre activities in the industry are also the same one who spend 1 week in a location and come out with a movie?
When you say 1 week on location, these people actually, for example now, presently now, the white men, they are actually marveling at our own way of doing movies. They spend 18 months on location. We spend 7 days on location. That's the least we spend. Presently, across the Niger, the director of Across the Niger spent 3 years in doing the film. And that's Kingsley Obilo. So there are some films like the Thames Apart you talked about. They spent 1 year on location.
That is a professional film. Look, that film, I saw that film long ago.
Very long ago.
Whenever I still close my eye, I still see the picture of Okonkwo.
Very long ago.
See, that movie can still contest most of the movies we have today.
Of course, yes.
Who were those that did that movies? What did they do that we are not doing today?
The Nigerians were the one who did it. In fact, bulk of what came into that movie came in from Germany. And somebody came up with the idea, met with the scriptwriter. It was a novel written by Chinua Achebe. So they had a discussion, and there was a plan to embark on the project. And everything that went into that movie came in from Germany.
So if it doesn't come from overseas, it will not be good.
Well, we need to collaborate. We have talents here in Nigeria, and we need to work with the professionals. We have professionals in the country, and when you're talking about packaging movie, like I was discussing in the meeting yesterday with my members, I said one thing about making of movies. You need to be careful in your budget. You need to be careful in your budget. If you're not careful in your budget, you run into a problem. And if you're spending 1 month on location, know that it is 1 month. Don't make it 1 month plus 1 day. If you make it 1 month plus 1 day, that means you, the producer, you have You have overshot your budget.
What does it really take to make a movie?
It takes patience. It takes patience and professionalism to make a movie.
Discussing movie on Bull's Eyes.
1960 Olympics. Ethiopian Abebe Bikila ran barefoot to have his name encrusted in gold. In 1968, Kenyan Kipkeino challenged the champion to win gold in the 1500-meter race. In 1996, the Nigerian soccer team in green and white won gold when the world thought it impossible. In 2008, who will make history?
Watch the Beijing 2008 Olympics and don't miss a thing with SuperSport's unbeatable coverage. See it all on 4 dedicated channels and witness history in the making on SuperSport, your world of champions, only on DSTV.
Call 0803 904 3788 to subscribe today.
IBADAN is now finger-licking fun with the opening of the USA Food Court at number 1 Obilo Way, Favor Bus Stop, Odija. You can now have a variety of mouth-watering goodies from Mr. Biggs, Village Kitchen, Pizza Inn, and Creamy Inn, all under one roof.
What's more, you get free gifts at purchases in any of the Creamy Inn, Pizza Inn, and Village Kitchen counter.
Also, free balloons will be given to kids during the first week of opening. That's fun and variety for everyone at the USA Food Court.
Mr. Biggs, Village Kitchen, Creamy Inn, and Pizza Inn. Now open at UAC Food Court, number 1 Oluyole Way, Favor Bus Stop, Odija, Ibadan. We're expecting you.
UAC. Doing good.
Vendor, give me 1 new star, please. Vendor, I said give me 1 new star now.
Madam, you don't finish.
What do you mean? Isn't that new star you are reading there?
Madam, now the last copy of this and I still they read them.
But I want to pay for it.
Sorry, madam.
Okay, I'll add an extra 50 naira.
Thank you, but
Extra 100 naira.
I say no, madam. I don't want.
Once you pick it up, it's hard to give it up. New Star. More glitz, more glamour, more business, more politics. Now available on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. New Star. Have a lovely day.
Welcome back. The program is Bull's Eye. I'm discussing with Oyebanji James, the coordinator Actors Guild of Nigeria, or your state chapter. Why did it take too long for Actors Guild of Nigeria to permeate the Western states?
Well, we have to perfect every modalities before falling in. Ever before now, we have been considering Oyo State as a point of contact. You know, when you talk about art in the West, you can't rule out Oyo State. So it became a point of concentration in the mind of the national president, Ejike Asiebu, as in we need to penetrate southwest, because there's been this saying that the Igbos are the one, clawing on film, the so-called English film industry, and I keep telling people that no, don't make that mistake. You see, the question is this: who is going to bail the cat? It's just like when our Lord Jesus Christ came to the world and died for the sins of we sinners. So the issue is we need to perfect our modalities, and somebody has to go there to open up a chapter. And out of all the people, that was at the meeting, there was a decision, and they said, okay, James, we want you to open a chapter there in your state. Ever before now, I have been directing. I'm a director. I belong to DGN, Directors Guild. I became a member in River State when I was in Port Harcourt. So, getting down to your state here, a director cannot just direct films. What will you be directing? Will you be directing the lizards you see on the streets or the chickens you see on the streets? So we need to have actors. So I still have to come into, because as an actor, I'm a trained actor. Because for you to be a good director, you must have been a good actor.
Okay.
And that's your state. So the state chapter began. And it began on a location. We were on a location, and I started contacting some persons, some professionals that I know, who could be of assistance in extending the good news about Actors Guild of Nigeria or your state chapter, to complement what ANTP has actually been doing in the state. So that is the genesis of how AGN or your state chapter came to be.
You are a coordinator.
Yeah, I am a coordinator.
Do you have a chairman?
Well, till after the inauguration. We are planning for an inauguration.
When is the inauguration?
Any moment from now, the inauguration is coming up, and we're waiting for the Honorable Commissioner of Information, Culture and Tourism. In fact, I'll use this opportunity to actually appreciate what they have been doing to us, as in the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, under the supremacy of Her Excellency Alhaja Risikato Ibimpe Alabi. You know, she's been so supportive. I've been supporting our guild, because as at the time our national president came for a state courtesy visit, that was July 1st, she was there for us. So, using this opportunity to say thank you to her.
What is the role of government in the movie industry?
Well, ever before now, right from the inception of, should I say, movie, individuals have been doing their own thing. But presently now, government is now coming in. Remember, if you've not heard it before, hear it now, that Nollywood is the third largest in the old world.
That is what we're saying.
It's the third largest, and banks are beginning to come into it now. Some individuals who actually know what the movie industry is all about are beginning to invest, and you'll be surprised that presently in Enugu now they are building a sort of a film village in Enugu. So, and presently in Jos, there's a place given by government to filmmakers. Shara Hills is in Jos. Is there in Jos? So things are about happening, and the next thing you start talking about after horror is what? Is movie.
But why is it that when we go to international film festivals, our movies are not even recognized?
I will give reasons to that. We've been talking about professionals, and the problem we've been having is the issue of professional. Now, when you talk about film has to do with pictures. It is not how spectacular the actors act. When we were taught in school, there's this affirmation about film production, that less of dialogue, more of action. That is film.
Less of dialogue,
more of action. And I'll tell you why. Now, it is cinematography. It has to do about pictures. I interpret films based on pictures. You know, when you talk about angles, low angle shots, normal high level shots, and high angle shots. You see, these are ways the Americans rate films, as in how well the director is being able to use pictures to speak. You know, many of our films here, when you talk about the role of a king, some directors just put the camera anyhow. But unknown to them that when you're talking about the role of a king or the role of a father, you take those kind of shots from a low angle shot, giving the king a very prominent status on the screen. So when you're talking about somebody who has limited powers, as in who is not powerful at all in a film, you take such person, putting the camera on a high angle shot. Invariably, the person looks so small. Now, these are things that some people don't put into consideration when shooting movies. Then when you now go for festivals, you now discover that your film cannot, stand other films from other countries.
Even when you see when they want to show an accident scene, you see the camera shaking, the car shaking before you know you're on the pole. Is that how to do it?
Well, it depends on the creativity of the director. Because I told you something about interpretation now. Now, the director is a master artist. When the script gets into the hands of the director must feel what the audience, how best can I make the audience react to what they're about to see. Now, put yourself, while you are there on location, the camera represents the eye of the audience. That's why we call the director the super audience while on location. How best would the audience feel this? Look at films like The Gladiators. Look at films like 300. Look at films like you are there to see. And that's why when you look at Amaka Igwe's film, you look at Tunde Kalani's film, they stand out from other films we shoot here in Nigeria. Why? Because these people are what? Professionals. And they bring in their professionalism into what they do. Now when you talk about cinematography again, when you look at Nigerian films, we don't talk about mood lighting. We brighten the light from beginning of the scene to the end. But when you watch American films, you see what we call mood. When you see night, night is night. You don't have an overexposed picture. See, well, by the time you now start considering all this, you were talking about story the other time, that story. But what will you say of a story that at the beginning of the scene, it is Edmond and the wife. The second scene, it is Edmond and the wife in the bedroom. The third scene, it is Edmond and the wife in the kitchen. The fifth scene, you see Edmond and the wife on the street. Is it Edmond and the wife alone in that society or in that community? So when you don't put so many things into consideration, plots, where do you leave the position of plots? How do you arrange your story? There's what we call linear plot, there's what we call subplot, and there's what we call multiple plots. So by the time people don't actually garnish this into production, the production begins to have problem, will have problem. And that's what I refer to as production diarrhea.
Production diarrhea.
Yes.
When are we going to get there?
Well, the professionals will always get there.
But the professionals, they talk too much about theories. That is why the so-called mediocres have taken over the industry. That is one thing about intellectuals. They theorize a lot and they don't act. And it's becoming the brain of development in Africa. So much theories. And if you don't act, mediocres will take over.
What would you say about the professionals who knows it and who have been going out to some stakeholders, as in to render assistance for their what? For their profession. And look at the mediocres, they have the money. Because there's always this saying, when money talks, bullshit works. Sorry for that. But the issue is this: if the professionals are being, enhanced by investors or by some stakeholders who have money, we will begin to see professionalism on our TV, on our screens. But presently now, I tell you, presently now, the National President of Actors Guild of Nigeria is in Abuja, battling with this issue of some marketers and censors board issue. And in no time, they will soon settle that, and there will be sanity in the area of film marketing in Nigeria. Though some few persons have been issued license, some few professionals have been issued license, because there are procedures in marketing films. You don't just produce a film and you just take it to market like that. There are things the film must go through before marketing.
Ghanaians are already complaining that Nigerian films is killing their industry.
Well. It depends on how they see it. We are talking about POV now, point of view. Alright? What I would say about that is that Nigerians are even the ones developing their industry, their film industries. In Ghana, presently now, recently, Actors Guild of Nigeria was just launched in South Africa. So, things are about to happen. So we are networking. AGN is moving, and it has come to stay in Oyo State. And very soon, anyone from now, you begin to hear a lot about AGN, because presently you've not been seeing the influx of Nollywood stars.
I was going to come to that. Is there a movie industry in Ibadan?
There is a movie industry in Ibadan. Of course, you must have heard about ANTP. And ANTP is an ally to AGN. Because the president of ANTP, Jide Kosoko, has actually been featuring in AGN production. When you talk about Papi Luwe too, has been featuring in AGN production. So things, have been happening in Oyo State. Of course, the person of Muri Ademola has actually been shooting films in Ibadan. So there is a film industry in Ibadan.
Looking at locations,
Okay.
if you look at our locations sometimes, you see most of our musicians now, they want to go to South Africa to shoot their movies or their music videos. Is there anything wrong with location in Nigeria? Don't we have beautiful places in this country?
There is nothing wrong with locations in Nigeria, and I keep telling people that when you talk about locations, we have beautiful locations in Nigeria, and that it comes to the aspect of saying sell your country. We have tourist sites in Nigeria. We have some tourist attractive places in Nigeria that we can use for our films, and most especially for some of our musical videos, needless of anybody jetting to South Africa. So I would say we have the location. Talk about Bodija. Look at Bodija. Look at how Bodija is.
Is Bodija fine?
Bodija is okay. There are places you go to in Bodija. When you get to, there are some natural places, like when you get to area of Monia, where you have PWU, right? Such place can be used for locations in any film. In any film, like presently now, the last film that was shot by the last film that was shot by Kelani in Ibadan, I think was in Jago Village, and Jago Village is few kilometers away from Ibadan. It's around Ibadan after Nigerian breweries. You know, that's where Jago Village is. So we have locations here in Ibadan.
But haven't you noticed something? That when they shoot these traditional movies,
yes,
they tend to get a better concept than when they shoot the normal American style movies. When they go to villages to shoot traditional movies, singing, they tend to come up with something very African. Than when they try to shoot something like in the form of American movies.
Because it is not part of us. When we try to shoot an American movie, a film like the Americans, it's just like trying to use gun more than the Americans. The Americans know how to use gun more than us.
But when we do that, it's so fake. When we even do gun movies,
yes, it's very fake because the creativity of the director is affected.
Look, this digital age, the tools that is needed, can we afford this tool?
Watch across the Niger.
Wow.
There is professionalism in that film.
Can the movie industry survive without theater?
Well, 80% of American actors today graduated from theater to movie. So you need a foundation, and the foundation is theater.
To be a theater practitioner, what do you need?
You need formal training. You need get either a diploma in theater or a degree in theater.
To be a member of AGN, what does it take?
To be a member of AGN, what it takes is a formal training too, because that is the level AGN is coming to now. That is the level. As an AGN is emphasizing on what? High rates of professionalism.
Professionalism. But before we go, let's look at the economic and political implication, the present economic crisis we have in Nigeria, and even the political situation. How does it affect the industry?
Oh, well, we are all Nigerians, and we know where the issue hurt us most. Like, it's not affecting the industry in any way, only that we are feeling it as Nigerians. But the only thing we can do as filmmakers or as actors and actresses is to what? Is to sanitize and correct some vices in reference to some of the issues happening. For example, when Katrina happened, or when Osama bin Laden attacked America, the American president charged filmmakers to do films that will actually lift the spirit of Americans. So on our own side, we would like to do something that will actually lift the spirit of Nigerians in any event of crisis.
So there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
I have been discussing with the coordinator, Actors Guild of Nigeria, or your state chapter, Oyebanji James. So thank you for coming on the program.
Pleasure.
Before I go, no good man became suddenly rich. Riches are not an end of life, but an instrument of life. To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches. Until I come your way again on Bull's Eye, I am Edmond Obilo saying bye-bye.